Paul Garfinkel. I'm the producer of the Second Sundays at Stetson's concert series. We're glad you're here. Today's guest is going to be Florida icon, storyteller, writer of books, singer of songs, Bob Patterson. You don't need me to give you too much of an introduction on Bob because I think everybody knows him by now, and we're just delighted that you are here. There is a link that should be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen to the Stetson Kennedy Foundation website. Donations are most welcome. They are not required, but we'd appreciate your help supporting this concert series that is now virtual and every other month, and we will let you know soon who we are going to have in May of this year. And I've also put pinned a link to the top of the Second Sundays, or the Sundays at Stetson's Facebook page that you can hit to donate directly to PayPal. So without any further ado, let me introduce one of my personal heroes, and probably one of yours too, Mr. Bob Patterson.
Hey, thank you, Paul. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's really wonderful to be here back at the home of Stetson Kennedy. He was a friend and a truly amazing human being. You know, back at the end of World War II, Stetson was he was living in Atlanta, and at that time the Ku Klux Klan, the membership had really fallen off during the war years, and so in an effort to get more, to build up their membership, they constructed this huge cross on top of Stone Mountain, and they set it on fire. And so Stetson was noticing that while he was walking around the streets of Atlanta, all the kids were playing Ku Klux Klan games. All the little white kids running around wearing little white hoods, and he was a little appalled by that. So he infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan for the FBI. And he started sending out information. But it turned out the people he was sending information to, half of them were members of the Ku Klux Klan. So undoubted by that, he had a friend in Washington, D.C. who had a radio station, a news program. And they started, during the news program, they started talking about the minutes from the Ku Klux Klan meetings and revealing some of the secret passwords. And but still, wasn't really creating the effect that Stetson wanted. So he had another friend who was actually a producer of the Superman radio show, and he got together with them, and they devised a method where they were going to go ahead and do 4 productions of how Superman defeated the Ku Klux Klan, and they did that, and membership in Ku Klux Klan plummeted. Stetson Kennedy, pretty amazing fellow. Well, gather round, good people. Oh, there's a story I'll tell about a man who had the courage to face the fires of hell. A man who stood for human rights for every single man. To him, that was the real reason for being an American. Now God placed him on this earth to roam free in a distant land. Gave him a task maybe not so suitable for such a small man. But he accepted the challenge, became a guiding light, champion for civil rights for every single man. So you want to be a man? Tell me, who would it be? I'll tell you, my friends, I choose Stetson Kennedy. I put on the robe of courage, look straight into the wind, fight for the civil rights of every single man. We had a tongue moved by wit, just twinkle in his eye. He was a champion of endurance, very little getting by. Palmetto Country, all his books are a worthy read. You know, he was always there to help someone in need. So you want to be a man, tell me who would it be? Oh, I'll tell you, my friends, I choose Stetson Kennedy. I put on the robe of courage, look straight into the wind, fight for the civil rights of every single man. Well, he stood up to injustice, stood up to the Ku Klux Klan, helped take him down, a little help from Superman. Now, Woody Guthrie, Zora Neale Hurston, they were all his friends. And you know, Beluthahatchee was a little bit like the promised land. So you want to be a man, tell me who would it be? I'll tell you, my friends, I choose Stetson Kennedy. I put on the robe of courage, look straight into the wind, fight for the civil rights of every single man. Now the collective citizen voice cries out for us to take a stand. You know, it don't make any difference if you're Democrat or Republican. Just stand up to those who take your freedoms away. And my friend Stetson Spears out there, he's showing you the way. Oh, you want to be a man, tell me who would it be? I'll tell you, my friends, I choose Stetson Kennedy. I put on the robe of courage, look straight into the wind, fight for the civil rights of every single man. Oh, you want to be a man, tell me who would it be? I'll tell you, my friends, I choose Stetson Kennedy. I'd put on the robe of courage, look straight into the wind, fight for the civil rights of every single man. Stetson Kennedy lived right here in the little town of St. Augustine. Stetson and I would do some book signings together, and I remember one time we were doing one. He kind of tilted one eye up at me. He said, "You know, we're pretty old at doing this stuff. Wonder which one of us is going to go first." I think he was 93 at the time. I was 60 something. And when he said that, I had the immense feeling that he could easily outlive me. Sadly, he didn't. I love Stetson. So here's a little tune I wrote about Silver Springs. You know, I'm not originally from Florida. I got here in 1967. And Gamble Rogers, Will McLean took me on my first boat ride up the Ocklawaha River to the Silver River and into Silver Springs, one of the world's first magnitude springs. At that time, Silver Springs was producing 99.8% pure artesian spring water, literally the purest water in all of the world. Sadly, it's no longer that way. Silver Springs, in many ways, still looks very pretty. It's a very beautiful place to visit, but the water's polluted. It's nitrates and phosphorus from runoff from agriculture, and so I find that really disturbing. You know, when you're a songwriter, you just sort of just work out your problems on your guitar. Out over the silvery water, out over the Silver Springs, I hear the murmurings of creation, I hear the sounds of untamed things. Night, starlight, silvery water, keep calling me back to Silver Springs. Oh, I feel the nearness of God as I go there. I feel the touch of an angel's wings. You know, it's like looking down from on top of a mountain, peering deep into the springs. Water so pure and translucent reveals the marvels about which I sing. There are stories of lovers lost in these waters. Some say their spirits come back to the springs. Prince Trucata and his beautiful Winona. Some say their spirits are hovering over the springs. What of Claire Douglas and Bernice Mayo. Was Aunt Scylla really 110? Is there such a place as the bridal chamber? Who would you expect to find there within? Framed in the power and the beauty of nature, would have strange and mystic ways, voices that call from out of nowhere, singing in the song, the Silver Springs. Florida's first people thought water to be sacred. They are gone now like the wind in the rain. If they were here, they'd stand up to injustice and able to accept what's happening to our springs. Oh, it's a rotten egg odor of civilization, pouring nitrates into the springs. Tell me, how can we poison these precious waters when it's that water that keeps alive all human beings? Out over the silvery water, out over the silver springs, I hear the murmurings of creation, I hear the sounds of untamed things. Out over the silvery water, out over the silver springs, I hear the murmurings of creation, I hear the sounds of untamed things. Silver Springs, that particular part of Florida, Florida's first people are indigenous people. We're mostly, in this part of Florida, were Timucua, but there were so many Timucua, they divided themselves into different groups of people. The group around Silver Springs at that time were known as Patano. And Florida had, before the first white man got here, had all kinds of indigenous people here for 12,000 years. I think I read something about one anthropologist, 7 million. Down in the Florida Keys, home of the Tocobaga. Miami area is home with the Tequesta. Tampa, St. Pete is home with the Calusa. And coming up the coast, there was, until you got into the Panhandle, was a great agrarian society, the Appalachee. And this all northeastern Florida covered by the Timucua. So I got to thinking one evening, what happened to these people? So that was kind of what this song is all about. Because they've completely disappeared in the gene pool. I think they found the last Timucua Indian, Juan Carlos, his name was actually he died in, not Tampa, but in Cuba. All those people, no trace of them. 7 million people, no trace of them in the gene pool. Can you tell me, where have they gone? Can you tell me why you're not here? For thousands of years, you lived in harmony with this land. Can you tell me, where have they gone? alongside rivers ancient as this world. Their spirits walk with the wind. They left their souls behind, lost in the rapids of time. Can you tell me where they gone? Beside the ocean, alongside of the Gulf, next to springs, deep in the swamps, their spirits speak to me through the eyes of living things. Can you tell me where they gone? Right? The Appalachian, Tocobana, Matacumba, the Alachua, Minnesota, and the Timucua. Can you tell me where have they gone? Can you tell me why they're not here? Can you tell me where have they gone? Can you tell me why they're not here? Florida. Read up all you can about Florida's indigenous people. There's some really great books out there. You know, when I first got to Florida, I want to back up and say that a little bit that I grew up alongside of a river. And amongst my childhood, the heroes was none other than Tarzan. So I watched all those Tarzan movies, as perhaps you did, and we all know that the storyline takes place in Africa. But the truth of the matter is, most of those movies were made here in Florida. So when I moved here back in the late 1960s, I thought I moved to Africa. So that was a wonderful time to discover St. Augustine at that time. It was a pristine, beautiful place. It looked like it was lifted off of some painting and set up on the street. The beach is Bird Island, Conch Island, as it's known now, State Park. You know, it was a place where you could actually go and skinny dip all day long and not see anybody. Now, people are gone, they go, "Oh, Bob, you've been here a long time, I bet you've seen a lot of changes." And I go, "Yep, I don't like any of them." And fortunately, there's a lot of really wonderful people that still live in our little town that makes it all bearable. But I spent my first night in St. Augustine. I'd gotten out of the Navy, heard about, you know, inched my way down the coast to see if I could make a living, you know, telling lies and singing songs. And I ran out of money in St. Augustine, spent my first night sleeping on the beach, and went into this place called the Trade Winds Tropical Saloon, and got a gig playing 6 nights a week for the next 6 weeks. And man, oh man, I was hooked. But that first night I remember really well, sleeping out there on Conch Island. You know, and it was such an awesome experience. I was saying to myself, "Oh, it'd be really wonderful if I had my own house right here, where I could sit out here and look at the water." And it wasn't until years later I realized that kind of thinking is what is eating up our coast and destroying our beautiful beaches. But back in those pristine days, it was definitely a cause for a song. My first song that I wrote in St. Augustine. Papa lost his life on a fishboat. Mama's gone where she walks no more. Now that they're gone, I'm left here all alone in this old house by the sea. The morning breezes come to wake me, to tell me of the golden sun. Before I'm out of bed, she says she's my only friend. This old house by the sea. The tide retreats just to feed me. Waves invite me to play. Seagull sings a song about all that's going wrong in this old house by the sea. Just outside of this old house, there's a path that leads far away. I cannot leave, there's too much here for me in this old house by the sea. When I die in this old house, please drag my body to the sea. With the changing tide, I'll bid goodbye to this old house by the sea. Old house by the sea. Sorry, I got a little frog in my voice. I'm not. You know, most people know that not many people see me singing before it gets dark. So in the 1960s, I was stationed at the Naval Hospital of Philadelphia during that great folk boom when all that music was happening, and we were the 1960s. Some of you guys remember that, right? You know, they say if you remember the 1960s, you weren't really there. That's me. Thank you, dude. To the rescue. It's gee, I thought it was white wine. A little Chardonnay, yeah. But anyhow, in the '60s, we're still, you know, we were writing protest songs. I'm still writing them. Last night I was dreaming fisherman's dreams, indulging all the desires of my heart, when I saw my name in a neon waterfall. Filled my heart with such fright. In a blue neon haze I was standing, making the noise of a fool, singing my songs about love of life to people who are randy for oblivion. You know, change, it's a funny thing. Comes at you in a subtle way, like the tide that crashes up against the shore, dropping a little sand with each wave. and soon the sand will cover you. Time erases your mind, soon you're just caught up in all of the changes, leaving your memories behind. So I'll stand against the tide of the moment. Time keeps bringing me down. Seems like the whole world's headed in a different direction now. Seems like the whole damn thing's coming down. So I'll cling to the lake of my memories, hold on to those days of bright sunshine. I'll still stand up and fight for what I believe in. To nothing would be a disgrace. So I call upon you, my brothers and sisters. Stand tall in the face of fear. We can no longer accept the things we cannot change. We need to change the things we cannot bear. Let's crawl out of the valley of misunderstanding. Open our hearts to hope. Let's return to the place we all come from, because we all come from peace and love. Let's return to the valley of misunderstanding. Open our hearts to hope. Let's return to the place we all come from. We all come from peace and love. A little quick tuning change. You have a 12-string guitar, my friends. This is what you do. You tune for two reasons. One, because you care, and the other one is you don't want to lose your friends. I'm not a disciplined songwriter. I really do like to write. But you know, I always have to wait for the stars to line up and clouds to part and get hit by some kind of a wake-up notice. That's how I write. But I advise people, ask me about writing all the time, and I always advise them that what they should do is they should try and write every day. You know, if it's just a line or a word or whatever, they should do it. Writing is a gift. We exercise our freedom of expression when we do that. I think that's one of the reasons why the whole singer-songwriter thing has really been taken off. Is people realize that they have that. They not only have that right, but they have the need to get it out there. No, I can't believe the things that I'm seeing. I can't believe the things that I'm hearing. Seems like my eyes are not seeing. Seems like my ears are not hearing. A voice calls out from out of nowhere, speaking truth I haven't been aware of, telling me it's time to be moving on. Now I can't believe the words that you're whispering. I can't believe the lines that you're writing. whispered words too low for hearing, written words that have no meaning. A voice calls out from out of nowhere, speaking truth I haven't been aware of, telling me it's time to be moving on. Now, I can't believe the songs that you're singing. I can't believe the poems you are reciting. Singing songs without any feeling, reciting words that have no healing. A voice calls out from out of nowhere, speaking truth I haven't been aware of, telling me it's time to be moving on. Singing songs without any feeling, reciting words without any healing. A voice calls out from out of nowhere, speaking truth I haven't been aware of, telling me time to be moving on. Not the wind, not the rain, not the storms of life will ever keep me from you. In the deepest springs of my human heart, there's a place only for you. I think of you each morning, dream of you each night, lost in your magic, under the spell of your light. Not the wind, not the rain, not the storms of life will ever keep me from you. Can you see my light? Can you feel the warmth? It surrounds you. No words can express this feeling in my soul. Our love found at last, our story now is told. Not the wind, not the rain, not the storms of life will ever keep me from you. As long as the stars still hang, I'll be waiting here for you. No words can express this feeling deep in my heart. Rest assured, my darling, we'll never be apart. Not the wind, not the rain, not the storms of life. My two newest songs. Sometimes it's just fun to pick this old 12-string guitar. I learned how to play guitar on a 12-string, so that puts me in a very unique group of very weird people. Called Country Pickin' on the 12-string guitar. There was a time when I lived in the country all alone. The woods and meadows was all I'd ever known. And I recall how the home place, it glittered in the sun, how it slept in the stillness of the night. Times have changed that old country home I dearly loved. Buried footpaths have been turned into stone, and right where my dear old papa, oh how he rocked me on his knee, they're gonna build Highway 73. They're tearing down the old smokehouse, they're clearing out the trees, plugging up the well, they're draining the pond. And right where my dear old mama birthed my little sister, Betty Lynn, they're gonna build another dam, Holiday Inn. Should I lie content to watch the swift and dreadful change? Close my eyes and pretend pretend not to know? And will my voice fade in your ears at the end of my song? Can you accept the coming of the rose? Oh, I recall how the home place it danced in autumn's leaves, how it disappeared in the drift of the snow. The very things that warmed and enchanted my very soul have been lost since the coming of that road. These little tuning devices they have on guitars are really wonderful, wonderful things. We really could have used them back in the 1960s. I think one of the reasons why all those bands sounded so big is because they were out of tune. All I need is you. No one else will do. I don't want no love if it can't be your love. Darling, all I need is you. Now just when I had had enough, two-time lovers, easy stuff, I'd given up, believing love was true. You showed me love had deeper meaning, you gave me reason for believing. Darling, all I need is you. All I need is you. No one else will do. I don't want no love if it can't be your love. Darling, all I need is you. You know, poor man needs to paint his dreams with beautiful and splendid things. Rich man needs a mansion with a view. Odd dreams and treasures I don't need. I'm right where I want to be. Cause darling, all I need is you. All I need is you. No one else will do. I don't want no love if it can't be your love. Darling, all I need is you. Say the flowers need the earth, the rain, the sun, all those other things. Grass ain't much without the morning dew. Birds need wind to lift their wings. My guitar's gotta have 12 strings. But darling, all I need is you. All I need is you. No one else will do. I don't want no love if it can't be your love. Darling, all I need is you. Oh, I don't want no love if it can't be your love. Darling, all I need is you. So it's springtime, folks, and we have Earth Day celebration coming up. And I'm involved with some wonderful folks. Volano Beach Mainstream, and we're putting together a little Earth Day celebration on April 24th. Actually, Earth Day is the 22nd. Earth Day started in 1970 when a group of people got together because they were concerned about all the pollution and what it was doing not only to our planet but to their own personal health. So mark that on your calendars. We'd love for you to come and participate. It's all part of keeping live music alive. It's presented in a safe manner. There'll be all kinds of bands playing from noon till 10 at night, and it'll also be a little community fair where we're inviting groups, environmental groups, to come and set up a booth where they can share up their information and disseminate information about their concerns and beliefs. So mark that on your calendar. We'll be grateful to do it. It's called the Lullaby of the Rivers Music Festival, and it's built around this little song that I've had an awful lot of fun with. When I wrote it, I thought it was just a song until a principal of an elementary school in Jacksonville heard the song. She said, you know, I could use that song as a teaching element. And what she did was she took all the names of the rivers from the song. There's 14 Native American rivers. And she divided her school up where each class took the name of a river. And throughout the school year, they studied its ecology, its natural history, the state of its health. And at the end of the year, they won a wonderful little award with the program. And so for some time now, I've been figuring, I really care a lot about kids. I don't have any faith in our politicians anymore. I'm looking to our kids to be able to save us. But if they don't know about the environment, they're not going to want to stand up and fight for it and protect it. So I'm trying to create a DVD that I can give to schools, libraries, and any organizations to show how they can set up the same program in their own school. Because we need those kids. I've had an awful lot of fun with the song. Grateful for all the wonderful feedback I've gotten from so many friends. And grateful too for today to be here at Stetson Kennedy's home. I've been here several times before performing, and since the pandemic, all our activities have been curbed. Hey, but we're coming back. If I could only reuse time, I'd go back 100 years to a place where I could listen to the lullaby of the rivers. For now and then there will arise out of the waters Indian spirits to tell me how they got their names and sing the lullaby of the rivers. Ocklawaha, Itchitucky, he can find her with the coochie. Apalachicola, Wakulla, Wild Sissosilla, Beluthahatchee, Kissimmee, Beluthahatchee, Beluthahatchee, and the Swanee are singing lullaby of the rivers. Now if you have ears enough for listening, you know you can hear what they are saying. Oh, you can hear them all singing the lullaby of the rivers. The moving water makes the music. The pureness creates the healing. The reflections give up the secrets to the lullaby of the rivers. Beluthahatchee, he can find out with Beluthahatchee, Appalachia, Cola, what color, wild Sicily, Beluthahatchee, Kissimmee, Beluthahatchee, Beluthahatchee, and the Swanee singing lullaby of the rivers. Beluthahatchee, he can find her with Beluthahatchee, Appalachia, Cola, what color, wild Sicily, Beluthahatchee, Kissimmee, Beluthahatchee, Beluthahatchee, and the Swanee singing lullaby of the rivers. You know, my friends, there's a place in my heart where eagles soar free, where manatees swim beneath tall cypress trees, where bull gators bellow, wild panthers squall, magnolias shed their blossoms in a fragrant waterfall, where the noble anhinga silhouettes the wind, where herons and pelicans glide without end, where owls screech and otter play, jasmine melts the night away. Oh, my homeland's a place in my heart. Oh, Florida's a place in my heart. Oh, my homeland's a place in my heart. St. Augustine's a place in my heart. White ibis drift above high water oaks, or garlands of moss fall like fingers of smoke, where healing waters bubble from unfathomable depths, while schools of fish swim the rhythms of a waltz, where the sea unrolls its magic and the osprey makes its plunge, running sands dance and twirl before the setting of the sun. This exhilaration of wilderness creates a pounding in my heart. Florida's a place in my heart. My homeland's a place in my heart. St. Augustine's a place in my heart. Thank you all for tuning in. Had fun playing the little songs for you. Hope you'll stand with me. Stand up to injustice. Get out of this thing. We're all dealing with it. Let's all get together and sing some songs. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Paul.
Great job. Thanks, everybody who tuned in. I'm just going to sneak in this way. Oh, hello. Thanks for being here. We'll be in touch about who we're going to have in May, and we're glad you were all here. I'm honored to have Bob here. What an amazing talent. Bob's got a birthday coming up in 2 days.
March 16th.
March 16th. That's 2 days. He's going to be a octagon,
Yeah.
octopus.
Yeah. Yep.
That one. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thanks. We'll see you in 2 months. Love you all. Take care of each other. Bye now.